Hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. It's going to dive into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so once again, I just want to thank you all for your continued support and obviously everything you do to contribute towards growth of CoinsKid here. It's sharing is caring. It's amazing that the level of support that we've got and the warm comments and the feedback that we get as well across the entire space here. It's golden. Thank you very much for your support, and we'll always try and deliver to you everything that we know and see and hear. Okay, and we'll never shroud you from anything. And obviously, as you're fully aware, everything is theory based. Okay, nothing is set in stone. We've not got a crystal ball. We'll just say what we see and try and help and guide you in this space as best as we can. So right now I just want to say thank you to everyone that's involved in the Patreon and the support there as well, and the comments is amazing, and I'm really glad that you're liking the content there that we're pumping out to you over there. And big thumbs up to Captain, who's doing a lot of the contribution there. So it's golden, it's great. So right now, as you can see, theoretically there is a little bit of manipulation at play on Ethereum. It's setting up for a Wyckoff distribution model right here, and what I'm going to do right now, I just want you to go over to I'm going to play a segment from this guy's video, okay? But then after that, I want you to go to his channel. I want you to subscribe to his channel if you don't mind, if that's okay. And also, I would like you to say that CoinsKid sent me in the comments section of his video.
You understand that the motive is to drive the price lower, to reaccumulate. And I do fundamentally believe that in order for Bitcoin to go up, it needs to reaccumulate. But we had something completely different than this schematic on the other side. We had this kind of rally, and then we bounced around and we broke back down, and then we went up, and we kind of formed this other pattern after the Wyckoff distribution. And so I've been scratching my head about this and trying to understand, well, what are their intent? What's their intention behind this apparent negation of the next phase D and phase E of the Wyckoff distribution? And I think I might have found an answer tonight as I was really digging in this. And if you remember my image of the binaural galaxy or nebula, you have to remember that cryptocurrency isn't just one coin. It isn't just one stock. And the whole principle behind Wyckoff method is to understand the market as the sum total of the composite man, that all of the stocks, all of the motions are all moving as if they were the intent of one individual. And again, read that article. It's very illuminating to think about this, because clearly it's not just one person that is manipulating this price, but collectively the effect is as if one interest, one set of goals is behind these movements. And so, again, in the last video, I invited you to take the red pill and join me in the alternate reality. I'm about to do that again with you. So let's hop back over here. And here's our Wyckoff distribution. Here's the predicted next steps, really just dropping like a stone into an accumulation, but we didn't do that. And the question is why? Well, here's my theory. I'm going to show you another chart. And this chart is the sister goddess to Bitcoin. This is Ethereum. And so what's super interesting about this is that right now, if we look at Ethereum, it is doing, and you know what, let me just for the moment get rid of this overlay, but look at this move that Ethereum just did, and I want you to compare it to the beginning of the Wyckoff distribution for Bitcoin. And if you look at this, it is freaky, right? We've got this kind of accumulation, and these are on slightly different time frames, so let me get them in kind of agreement here. I guess that's right, but let's just kind of get them looking similar so that we can really see this. Looks like Bitcoin actually moved through these moves a little bit quicker, but the point is if we look at this whole first big set of moves that Bitcoin did, it is looking eerily similar to what Ethereum has now recently done. We had this big move up. We had this kind of sideways consolidation, kind of in this little uptrend, just like we had here with Bitcoin. And then we had this little dip, which we see about here. And then let me zoom in a little bit more on the movement here of Ethereum. We have this same kind of drop down, the automatic reaction, the ST, and then we just sort of broke down into this show of weakness. And if I put that, oh, it's gonna reverse me through all these steps. Let me put my overlay back on here. And keep in mind, this is my theory. It's not guaranteed, but I did the same kind of overlay here, kind of cutting out some of the uh, irregularities, just like I did with Bitcoin, really just going to the peaks here. We have this very textbook Wyckoff distribution setting up again, and I've kind of extrapolated it out, just kind of drawing. I didn't do this exactly to the levels that I probably should have, but I just wanted to kind of predict, okay, where might this go if we were to have another Wyckoff distribution within Ethereum. But I think that we can kind of see that happening with this big surge. This was really the last week or the first week of May. Ethereum just, blasting off towards that $4,000, $4,500 mark.
So at the moment, right now, if that is playing out, okay, and it is all a big if as well, obviously, you're fully aware, if it is playing out and we are going through this sort of manipulation game, which we've gone through with this Wyckoff distribution, which ties up effectively, as you've just seen from his video, to a T, aside from the fact that we didn't break out of this phase E, we didn't break out of phase E where it's supposed to go downwards. Obviously we've got the pickup, but with that pickup is actually the start, as you can see, like he outlined in his video. If you look on the right chart is Bitcoin, the left chart is Ethereum. And as you can see, as we've started to break down here, Bitcoin picked up, and the reason is because Ethereum began its PSY of its distribution model there, the Wyckoff distribution. So if Bitcoin had rolled over and shit the bed, then Ethereum would not have carried out that upside. Okay, do you understand that? So that's why you're seeing a small pump for Bitcoin, but a mega pump for Ethereum, because like I said to you, they're correlated. You won't see Bitcoin going down 40%, 50%, 20% without having some effects on Ethereum. So this is where the model was set up, and the actual phase E didn't come into play because it started Ethereum's PSY, the start of its distribution. Now, one thing I want to make you aware of, there is an outlining factor here. If Ethereum does something, then it's out the window, and I'm going to tell you straight away what that is. If Ethereum loses this swing high just here, it's out the window. This distribution model is out the window, okay? Because it doesn't work like that. If you lose the previous swing high, you're gone. It's gone, basically. So what I'm going to do right now is drop some the cheat code on right now. If Ethereum continues to break down from here and continues to break down, and it bounces off the previous swing high right here. So if you do start to see Ethereum lose the daily 20, now the daily 20 could be the AR effectively on the distribution model. It could be the AR where it's come down and it's found a base for continuation up to the ST. I don't want to bore you with the terminologies, but I'll drop a link to the Wyckoff distribution schematic for yourself so you can see. Okay, so right now this is a bit of a cheat code. If you see Ethereum break down anymore and it bounces off that swing high, wow, we could have a bit of a cheat code here for Ethereum. And again, it is all theory based, okay? So if you do start to see Ethereum roll over anymore and it comes down to 2638, then you were looking at sort of this Wyckoff distribution schematic that we've got on the cards. But obviously, if it bounces here, then you're looking at something like this for Ethereum, which that was the base there, the AR, and now you're going to come up and create the ST before going on a continuation and making these three highs. So as you can see, if that is the bottom, you could be looking at potentially a 5k plus Ethereum from this distribution schematic right here that we've got on the cards for Ethereum. But obviously if it does break down and it bounces off the previous swing high, which a Bitcoin did when it created its AR. Do you see this? So this is the PSY, okay, then it had its rollback, then it had the BC just there, then it rolled and made the AR. Do you see this level AR just there? Look where it rested. Do you see that to the left on the previous swing high? So this is why we're anticipating, if you do start to see Ethereum roll over, do put some cheeky bids on the 2638, because this is where you may see the AR come into play, the bounce in the beginning, well, the secondary stage of this sort of distribution schematic for Wyckoff here. So it's interesting, and obviously if you do start to see the pickup here, then this is what it's going to look like for Ethereum effectively. So we will keep you updated obviously as best as we can in the space right here for Ethereum, but do stay tuned and obviously stay strong, stay safe, and all that business. But right now, what I'm going to do is jump onto Bitcoin, because there is a very negative pattern for Bitcoin. It is getting some upside today. Now, there is a question as well. If Bitcoin does shit the bed and goes down to those lower targets we're anticipating, which we've given you, okay, does that mean more downside for Ethereum? Potentially, yes, it does actually, and it will invalidate this structure. So you do need to keep an eye on that, because this is where you might see Bitcoin invalidate those patterns that we're talking about, and that structure and that loss down to 28k. This is where you might see Bitcoin pick up a little bit, crab, invalidate the head and shoulders that we've got on the cards here as well. Because I'm going to show you this particular pattern that we've got for Bitcoin right now. It's a breakdown pattern. Obviously, it's a bearish pattern, as you're fully aware. Right here, you've got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, okay, and then you have a breakdown target from that. And obviously, it's from the head to the neckline like that. And you can see once you lose a level of support, which you have there, you've lost that level of support. Do you see that? When I say lose it, this is a daily time frame. Look, you've wicked down, but you've not started to close below this level of support. As soon as you start to close below that, that's when you've got confirmation of the bias that you're creating the pattern there, and you're validating it. Because like I said to you, when we're in this pattern here, do you remember this pattern here, what I said to you? And I gave you the breakdown target here, because you was in a bearish pattern here. You was in a rising wedge, and I said to you, when you broke out, you got target down here at 43k, and the pattern that's in play is valid until invalidated away. And right now you've got in another pattern, which is a head and shoulders, which is a reversal pattern, and you're carrying out a reversal trend down there to 32k. So that is a target for Bitcoin. And like I said to you, if you start to close below 39k on the weekly, you're looking at a 28k Bitcoin, because what you're doing, you're creating a massive, monstrous reversal wave back down to where you came from at a 28k, a Fibonacci retracement right there, which I've already gone through with you in a previous video. So if you did see Bitcoin continue to shit the bed, basically, then do anticipate that you would be looking at a 28k Bitcoin, and that right there from there is roughly, from this point, is round about another 27-28% correction right there for Bitcoin. Now theoretically, if it does continue that extension there and carries out that particular pattern, then I would imagine it would carry Ethereum with it, which obviously, as you're fully aware, would see the breakdown for Ethereum below this level of support, breaking the swing high and invalidating this Wyckoff distribution model. Okay, so this is why I'm a little bit biased towards the side that you might start to see, again, not financial advice, but if you start to see a bit of a recovery here for Bitcoin and it goes back above this pattern, invalidating this pattern, okay, and not closing below the 39k and doing something like this, crabbing, this will allow Ethereum to carry out this Wyckoff distribution model just here, schematic. Do you see that? Because obviously if Bitcoin shits the bed, Ethereum's going to shit the bed. It's simple, because it's correlated at the moment, unless we have that major alt season. But anyway, that's just, it's all theory based, okay? So I will keep you updated, of course, but if you do continue to see Bitcoin continue to shit the bed, then you are looking at that 28% more downside for Bitcoin right there. And if it closes that key level of support below 39k on the weekly right there, you can see it's going to go down. Yeah, so that's basically a little update on Bitcoin and Ethereum effectively. If we do see a little bounce here, I will keep you updated, and I'll post the trends on Twitter as well and try and put some trades on there, because obviously I ain't going to be able to keep you updated in real time. But if we do see a bit of pickup here for Ethereum, it means that this pattern is in play, isn't it? This Wyckoff distribution schematic right here. So it's interesting. Obviously, like I'll keep reminding you, it is all theory based. Okay, it is all theory based. So yeah, do keep an eye on that, because Bitcoin right now, it's like it's having some kind of recovery at the moment. It's actually wicked down, roughly down to 38k, 38436. So effectively, if you do start to see a bit of a pickup here and it breaks this level of resistance, because I can't give you this resistance point, okay, because this is why you got to come on your charts, because obviously in time this can change. And just like this pattern here, okay, when you fell out of this pattern here, you came back up. Do you see that? And you could do the same here. You come down, you come back up, and it looks great, and it just sort of crabs for a little bit until it gets down there, and it will allow this to roll out effectively for Ethereum. So yeah, it's all manipulation effectively. That's what we're trying to get at. So again, do go and watch that video after this video, and subscribe to him, and also to say that CoinsKid sent me. Thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that update, and it's very interesting to see what pans out over the next few months here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.